My parents took my twin sister's kids on a luxury trip. Mine were left out, so I turned the tables. Have you ever been treated like the black sheep in your own family? Hey everyone, I'm so grateful you're here. This isn't just a story, it's my life. And I'm telling it because I know someone out there will understand the quiet pain of being overlooked, of smiling while your heart quietly breaks, of pretending everything's fine, when really it's not. I'm a mom of two incredible kids. I've worked hard for everything I have, and I've tried to be the good daughter my whole life. But no matter what I did, I always came second, especially to my twin sister. Yes, we're twins, but you wouldn't know it by how differently we've been treated. She got the praise, the attention, the special trips with our parents, while I got the maybe next time responses. What finally broke me? A secret luxury vacation, taken without a word. Not only did they exclude me, they took my sister's kids. Mine weren't even considered. That's when I knew I couldn't keep pretending everything was okay. Before we begin, I'd be so glad to know that my story is reaching people in different parts of the world. So please let me know in the comments where you're watching from. And thank you for being part of this growing community. You make this space real. Let's begin. Growing up, my twin sister Lauren was the golden child. Charming, bold, always the center of attention. I was quieter, the one who studied hard, helped with chores, never demanded the spotlight. Our parents praised her every move, her school plays, her prom queen crown. While my straight A's and scholarships got a pat on the back, maybe a "that's nice, honey," I told myself it didn't matter, that love wasn't a competition, but the pattern never broke. Lauren's first car was a gift. I saved for mine. Her college trips were funded. I worked 2 jobs. Even as adults, she got the calls, the visits, the "let's plan something special." I got maybe next time. The Paris trip was different. It wasn't just about me anymore. It was my kids, Emma and Noah, left out. Their excitement for a summer adventure snuffed out before they even knew. I called Mom again the next day, hoping for an explanation, not an excuse. "Why didn't you tell me you were traveling?" I asked, my voice steady despite the knot in my chest. She laughed like it was nothing. "Oh, honey, it was so last minute. Besides, it was easier to just take one set of kids. You know how your two can be—" I froze, my grip tightening on the phone. "So it was easier to leave mine behind?" Silence. No apology, no backtrack, just that heavy, telling pause. "We'll do something with them later," she said finally, her tone dismissive. "Don't make a big deal out of it." She hung up, leaving me with a truth I couldn't unhear. My kids weren't a priority. Not to her, not to Dad, not to Lauren. Would you forgive something like this? Drop a comment and tell me what you'd do in my shoes. If you're new, hit subscribe. This story's about to get real. I opened the family group chat, hoping for some trace of the trip. A photo, a mention, anything. Nothing. Just a week-old message about Dad's golf game. Lauren had kept the whole thing secret, posting her airport brag only after they were airborne. The betrayal cut deeper than I expected. She wasn't just complicit. She'd planned this, knowing it would hurt. I scrolled through her Instagram again, her kids' smiles mocking me. My kids deserved that joy, that adventure, but they'd been erased from the equation. That night, Noah, my 7-year-old, climbed onto the couch, his eyes curious. "Mom, why didn't Grandma take us too?" he asked, his voice small. My heart cracked. "They didn't tell us they were going," I said, forcing a smile. He frowned, unconvinced. "Did you say no? Did I do something wrong?" "No, buddy," I said, pulling him close. "You're perfect. It's not your fault." But his doubt lingered, a shadow I couldn't erase. Upstairs, I checked on Emma, already asleep, her sketchbook open to a drawing of a plane. She'd been talking about Paris for months, obsessed with the Eiffel Tower. I closed her door and sank onto my bed, tears coming hot and fast. I cried for my kids, for the rejection they didn't deserve, for the years I'd let my family's favoritism slide. But the tears didn't break me. They fueled me. I wiped my face, grabbed my laptop, and started digging. I wasn't sure what I was looking for, proof, a plan, something to turn this pain into action. I found an email from Mom, sent weeks ago, about logistics for the trip. It was addressed to Lauren, not me, with details about flights and hotels. The exclusion wasn't an oversight. It was deliberate. The open loop tightened. Why had they gone so far to keep me out? Was there more to this than favoritism? And what would I do with the truth? I closed the laptop, my mind racing. Lauren thought she'd won, basking in Paris with our parents' approval. Mom thought she could brush me off with a laugh. They were wrong. I wasn't the quiet twin anymore, content with scraps. My kids deserved better, and so did I. The tension coiled, a plan forming in the dark. I didn't know how I'd turn the tables, but I would, sharp, deliberate, and unforgettable. The tears I shed after Noah's heartbreaking question, "Did I do something wrong?" hardened into resolve as I closed my laptop, the email from Mom confirming the Paris trip's secrecy still burning in my mind. Lauren's smug Instagram post, her kids grinning with first-class tickets, and Mom's flippant, "It was easier" excuse had pushed me past the point of pretending. My kids, Emma and Noah, deserved more than being left behind by their grandparents and aunt, and I was done playing the good daughter who smiled through the favoritism. The open loop of their motives, why exclude us so deliberately, gnawed at me, but I wasn't ready to confront them. Not yet. I needed to act, to show my kids they were enough, and to show my family I wasn't invisible. The next morning, I called my best friend Tara, the one person who never let me shrink myself. She picked up on the first ring, her voice sharp with concern. "You okay? You sound off." I told her everything. The Paris trip, Mom's dismissal, Noah's confusion, the family group chat's silence. "They took Lauren's kids and didn't even tell me," I said, my voice tight. "My kids think it's their fault." Tara didn't hesitate. "You've been quiet too long, Janelle. You're not just a daughter, you're a mom now. Do what's right for your family. Screw their feelings." Her words lit a spark. I didn't want revenge, not the petty kind that leaves everyone bruised. I wanted a reset, a way to reclaim joy for my kids and show my family their exclusion wouldn't define us. That's when the idea hit. A surprise getaway for Emma and Noah, something bigger than Paris, something that screamed, "You are enough." I opened my laptop again, this time searching for magic, not answers. Disneyland, VIP passes, full-on wonder, the kind of trip my kids would never forget. I booked it all in minutes, my heart racing with purpose. And I decided to post every moment online, not to brag, but to make sure my family saw what they'd underestimated. Would you show up big for your kids after a betrayal like that, or keep it private? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new, hit subscribe. This story's about to shine. The planning consumed me. I told Emma and Noah we were going on a special adventure, but kept the details secret, their excitement bubbling as I packed their bags. I booked a suite at a Disney resort, VIP fast passes, character breakfasts, even a private tour of the park. Every detail was for them. Emma's love for princesses, Noah's obsession with roller coasters. I didn't tell Mom, Dad, or Lauren. The family group chat stayed silent, their Paris posts now buried under Lauren's stories of croissants and the Louvre. I didn't care. My focus was my kids, and the reset I was building. The trip was 3 days away when I called Tara again, needing her fire to keep me steady. "You're doing this right," she said, her voice fierce. "Post everything. Let them see your kids living their best lives. They don't get to ignore that." "I'm not tagging them," I said, hesitant. "Is that too much?" "No," she said. "It's just enough. They'll see it. Trust me." I trusted her. The night before we left, I checked my phone one last time. A new post from Lauren, her kids at the Eiffel Tower, captioned, "Memories we'll never forget." My stomach twisted, but I didn't linger. I was done comparing. My kids were about to have their own memories, and I'd make sure the world knew it. The morning of the trip, I woke Emma and Noah early, their sleepy eyes wide when I whispered, "We're going to Disneyland!" Emma squealed, clutching her stuffed Minnie Mouse while Noah pumped his fist, chanting, "Space Mountain!" We drove to the airport, my phone already snapping photos. Their grins, their matching Mickey ears, the boarding passes I'd splurged on for priority seats. At the gate, I posted the first photo. Adventure begins, family time. No tags, no captions calling out my family, but I knew they'd see it. Lauren followed my account, and Mom checked it religiously. The open loop pulsed. Would they react? Would they feel the weight of what they'd done? As we boarded, Noah grabbed my hand. "This is better than Paris, right, Mom?" His voice was hopeful, still tinged with the doubt from that night on the couch. "Way better," I said, kissing his forehead. "This is ours." The plane took off, and I felt lighter, the hurt of Paris fading against the promise of my kids' joy, but the tension lingered. How would my family respond when they saw my posts? Would Lauren brush it off, or would it sting? And Mom, would she call or pretend it never happened? I leaned back, Emma's head on my shoulder, and let the questions hang. This wasn't just a trip. It was a statement, a line drawn in the sand. I was turning the tables, and the game was just beginning. The magic of Disneyland enveloped us, Emma's squeals as she met Cinderella, Noah's wide-eyed thrill on Space Mountain, the glow of fireworks painting the sky. I captured every moment, posting photos online with captions like, "Making memories that last and pure joy." No tags, no direct jabs, but I knew my family would see them. Lauren's Paris posts had slowed, her silence louder than her usual boasts, and the family group chat remained a ghost town. The open loop of their reaction hung heavy. Would they acknowledge my move, or pretend it didn't exist? I pushed the thought aside, focusing on my kids' laughter, but the tension simmered, a quiet promise of confrontation. 2 days into the trip, as we sat at a character breakfast, my phone buzzed. "Mom." I stared at her name, my heart tightening. Emma was giggling with Goofy, Noah shoving pancakes in his mouth, and I almost let it go to voicemail. But I answered, stepping outside, the park's music fading behind me. "Hey, Mom," I said, my voice steady. "Why didn't you tell us you were going to Disneyland?" she asked, her tone sharp, like I'd betrayed her. I leaned against a railing, watching families stream past. "Oh, it was last minute," I said, mirroring her excuse. "Figured it was easier this way." Silence. That same heavy pause from when I'd asked about Paris. Then she spoke, her voice tight. "I feel like you're being petty, Janelle." The word landed like a slap, but I didn't flinch. "No," I said, my tone calm but firm. "I'm just learning to put my kids first, the way you put Lauren's first." She didn't respond. I could hear her breathing, caught off guard, maybe stung. "That's not fair," she finally said, softer, but it lacked conviction. "Isn't it?" I said. "You took her kids to Paris without a word. My kids cried, Mom. They thought they did something wrong. I'm done letting them feel like they're less." We didn't mean," she started, but I cut her off. "You did, and I'm fixing it." I hung up, my hands trembling but my resolve ironclad. Her accusation, petty, only sharpened my focus. This wasn't about spite. It was about showing Emma and Noah they were worth every bit of magic I could give them. Has someone ever called you petty for standing up for yourself? Share your stories in the comments. I want to hear how you handled it. If you're new, hit subscribe. This journey's getting intense. Back at the table, Emma waved me over, her Mickey ears crooked. "Mom, look, Pluto signed my book." I smiled, snapping a photo, and posted it. Happiest place on earth. Lauren would see it. Mom already had. The family group chat stayed silent, but I didn't need their validation. My kids were beaming, and that was enough. For now. The rest of the trip was a blur of joy. VIP tours, late-night churros, Noah's fearless run through the haunted mansion. But Mom's call lingered, a crack in the facade of our family's dynamic. I checked my phone between rides, half expecting a text from Lauren, an apology, a jab, anything. Nothing came. The open loop widened. Would she stay silent or lash out? And Dad, always the peacemaker, where was he in this? The Paris trip's secrecy, Mom's defensiveness, it hinted at something deeper, a favoritism I'd ignored too long. That night, as the kids slept in our resort suite, I scrolled through my posts, the likes and comments piling up from friends and strangers. "Your kids look so happy," one read. "This is how you do it," Tara wrote, her fire fueling me. I opened the family chat again, tempted to post a photo there, to force them to face us. But I didn't. Let them come to me. Let them feel the weight of my kids' joy, a mirror to their exclusion. The next morning, Noah grabbed my hand as we headed to the park. "This is the best trip ever," he said, his doubt from that couch conversation gone. Emma nodded, her sketchbook full of Disney drawings. "Can we come back?" she asked. "Any time," I said, kissing her forehead. The hurt of Paris was fading, replaced by their smiles, but the tension with my family simmered. Mom's call was just the start. Her defensiveness, her refusal to own the hurt, told me this wasn't over. Lauren's silence was louder, her absence a challenge I wasn't sure how to meet. Would I confront her directly, or let my posts keep speaking? And what about Dad? Would he call, or stay on the sidelines? I posted one last photo that day. The three of us in front of Cinderella's castle, captioned, "We make our own magic." No tags, but the message was clear. The tables were turning, and I wasn't done. My kids were my priority, and if my family couldn't see their worth, I'd make sure the world did. The open loop pulsed. How would they react when we got home? The answer was coming, and I was ready to face it, head high, heart full. The glow of Disneyland lingered, Emma's sketches of Cinderella's castle, Noah's endless chatter about Space Mountain. But Mom's accusing "you're being petty" echoed louder as we flew home. My posts, brimming with my kids' joy, had reached my family, yet Lauren's silence and the empty family group chat spoke volumes. I'd turned the tables, giving Emma and Noah a trip that outshone Paris, but the open loop of my family's motives pulsed. Why the secrecy? Why exclude us so deliberately? Mom's defensiveness hinted at more, and I braced for what might come next. A week later, my cousin Mia called, her voice low, hesitant. "Janelle, you need to know something about the Paris trip." My stomach tightened as she spilled the truth. It wasn't last minute. It had been planned for months, booked through a travel agent. Mom, Dad, and Lauren had told everyone, cousins, aunts, even neighbors, but not me. The reason? Lauren. "She told your parents you were too dramatic, always too busy," Mia said. "She said it'd be easier without you and your kids. She promised to deal with the fallout later." The words hit like a betrayal sharper than the trip itself. Lauren hadn't just gone along with the exclusion. She'd engineered it, lying to keep her perfect vacation untouched. My kids' tearful questions, Noah's, "Did I do something wrong?" all because she'd painted me as the problem. I thanked Mia, hung up, and sat in silence, the truth sinking in. The open loop snapped into focus. Lauren's silence wasn't guilt, it was strategy. I opened my phone, my hand steady, and typed a message to Lauren. "You win, but don't ever speak for me again." I hit send, my heart pounding. She left me on red, her silence a final jab. No apology, no defense, just nothing. Would you confront a sibling who lied to exclude you, or let their silence be their punishment? Share in the comments and hit subscribe. This story's not over. The twist burned, but it freed me. Lauren's lie, Mom's complicity, Dad's absence, they'd chosen their side. I chose mine. Emma, Noah, and a life where we'd never be second again. What would Lauren do when the fallout she promised to handle finally hit? I didn't know, but I was ready, my resolve sharper than ever. Lauren's unread message, "You win, but don't ever speak for me again," marked the end of my patience. Her lie about my dramatic nature and busy life exposed by Mia's revelation. The Paris trip, planned for months behind my back, wasn't just a slight. It was a calculated move to keep my kids and me out of the family's spotlight. My Disneyland posts had hit their mark. Emma and Noah's joy a silent rebuke. But the open loop of my family's next move lingered. Would Lauren face me, or hide behind her silence? Mom's defensive call had only scratched the surface, and Dad's absence in the drama was its own kind of answer. Weeks later, Mom hosted a family dinner, the first since Paris. I almost didn't go, but Emma begged to see her cousins. and I wasn't about to let Lauren's shadow dim their light. We arrived at Mom's house, the air thick with unspoken tension. Lauren swept in late, her smile effortless, fake, her designer bag swinging as eyes followed her. She hugged Mom, chatted with cousins, acting like Paris never happened. I didn't play along. I sat with Emma and Noah laughing as they told stories about Disneyland, their voices bright, my focus on them, not her performance. The dinner unfolded, plates clinking, small talk masking the strain. Lauren avoided my gaze, her laughter too loud, her charm a shield. I didn't call her out, not yet. Let her squirm. Then Dad pulled me aside in the kitchen, his face lined with worry. "Your mom's been upset," he said, his voice low. "She says you've changed." "Good," I said, meeting his eyes. "I have." He shifted, uncomfortable. "We didn't mean to hurt you, Janelle." "You didn't try not to," I said, my voice steady, cutting through his softness. "You planned Paris for months, took Lauren's kids, and lied to me. Noah thought it was his fault." "That's not an accident, Dad." He looked down, no defense left. The open loop pulsed. Would they own it, or keep dodging? I walked back to my kids, leaving him with the truth. Can people who constantly hurt you truly not mean it? Or are they just hoping you'll never confront them? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe if you're hooked. Lauren's fake smile, Mom's silence, Dad's weak apology. They were circling, but I wasn't backing down. The dinner ended with no explosion, just a quiet shift. Emma and Noah were my center, and whatever my family did next, I'd meet it head on, no longer the twin who settled for scraps. The family dinner left a quiet mark. Dad's soft, "We didn't mean to hurt you," and my sharp, "You didn't try not to," hanging in the air as I walked back to Emma and Noah. Lauren's fake smile, her effortless charm masking the lie she'd told to exclude us from the Paris trip, only deepened my resolve. I'd stopped playing the good daughter, stopped swallowing the favoritism that had always put her first. The open loop of their next move, would they apologize or keep pretending, lingered, but I wasn't holding my breath. My kids deserved more, and I was done waiting for my family to see it. Months passed, and I made a choice. I stopped chasing invitations. No more hoping for a call from Mom, no more checking the family group chat for scraps of inclusion. Instead, I poured my energy into Emma and Noah. We created our own traditions, weekend hikes with hot chocolate, movie nights with themed snacks, a spur-of-the-moment trip to the coast where Noah chased waves and Emma collected shells. Their laughter filled the spaces my family's rejection had left, and something shifted. My kids were happier, their doubts from that Paris snub fading. And me? I was lighter, no longer carrying the weight of being second best. One morning, as I sipped coffee and scrolled through photos of our latest adventure, a zoo day where Emma sketched giraffes and Noah mimicked monkey calls, my phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "We're planning another trip. Do your kids want to come?" I stared at it, the words simple but loaded. Months ago, I'd have jumped at the offer, desperate for a crumb of fairness. Now, it felt like too little, too late. I typed back, my fingers steady. "Thanks. But we're good. We've got plans of our own." I hit send, no hesitation, no guilt. The silence that followed was freeing. Have you ever stopped chasing people who made you feel second best? How did it change your life? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear. If you're new, hit subscribe. This story's about finding power in choice. The shift wasn't just in me, it was in Emma and Noah. Emma started drawing more, her sketchbook full of our adventures, no longer asking why Grandma didn't call. Noah's questions about Paris stopped. He talked about our next trip instead, begging for a camping weekend. I planned one, complete with a telescope for stargazing, their excitement louder than any family vacation could have been. My work as a marketing consultant kept us comfortable, and I splurged on small things, a new bike for Noah, art supplies for Emma, because they deserved to feel valued, not pitied. Lauren stayed distant, her Instagram quieter, no more flashy posts of her kids' adventures. Mia, my cousin, mentioned Lauren was stressed, maybe rattled by the fallout of her lie. I didn't care. Her promise to deal with the fallout had been empty, and her silence was her choice. Mom called once more, her voice tentative, asking about the kids. "They're thriving," I said, keeping it short. "We're busy." Dad sent a text, a rare miss you, but I didn't reply. Their gestures felt like bandages on a wound I'd already healed. The family group chat, once a source of pain, became irrelevant. I unfollowed Lauren's posts, muted Mom's updates, and focused on my own world. Tara, my best friend, cheered me on over wine one night. "You're not just surviving," she said, raising her glass. "You're building something better." She was right. Our traditions, Sunday pancake mornings, impromptu dance parties in the living room, were ours, not tied to anyone's approval. Emma's confidence grew. She entered an art contest and won third place. Noah joined a soccer team, his grin unstoppable. I watched them, my heart full, knowing I'd given them what my family hadn't. Unwavering choice. I showed up every day not out of duty, but because they were my everything. The truth hit me one evening, watching Emma and Noah chase fireflies in our backyard. We teach people how to treat us by what we allow. I'd allowed my family's favoritism for too long, smiling through the maybe next time promises, letting guilt keep me small. Not anymore. I wasn't angry, just done. My kids didn't need pity invitations or half-hearted apologies. They had a mom who chose them every time, and that was more than enough. The open loop of my family's response closed quietly. Mom's trip offer was the last I heard. No one pushed when I declined. Lauren never replied to my message, her lie about my dramatic nature a wall she couldn't climb. Dad's silence returned, his brief text a flicker that didn't spark. I didn't need their validation. My life, our life, was full, vibrant, ours. I posted one final photo that summer. Emma and Noah under a starry sky, captioned, "This is our enough." No tags, no hidden messages, just truth. Friends commented, "You're killing it," and Tara added, "This is everything." The likes piled up, but I didn't check for my family's names. Their absence didn't matter. I'd turned the tables, not with a fight, but with a life that spoke louder than their exclusion ever could. I'm not the twin who waits for scraps anymore. I'm Janelle, a mom who builds magic from scratch, who chooses joy over pain. My kids know their worth, and so do I. That's the real victory, not their regret, but our freedom. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more true stories like this one.